Close your eyes now, beloved. Let the weight of this day fall away from your shoulders. Let every tension release from your body, and allow yourself to sink deeper into stillness with every breath you take. You are safe here. You are held. You are loved beyond anything your mind can fully comprehend. And as you rest in this quiet place tonight, I want to speak to your heart in the way that only a father can speak to the child he formed before the foundations of the world were laid. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts become like leaves drifting gently on a still river, passing by without you needing to grasp any of them, without you needing to carry anything into this sacred hour of rest. I am here. I have always been here. And tonight, I want to pour into you the ancient wisdom that was set in place before the mountains were shaped, before the oceans were given their boundaries, before the first star was set burning in the darkness of the heavens. This is the wisdom I offer to you now, not as burden, not as instruction to be memorized and performed, but as a gift of love from a Father who delights in you, who sees your heart, who knows every question you have carried silently, and every longing you have not yet found words for. Beloved, wisdom begins not with knowledge gathered from books, not with experience accumulated over years, and not with intelligence that the world around you would celebrate and admire. Wisdom begins with knowing me. It begins with the reverence that naturally arises when you encounter the one who created all things, when you truly understand, even in the smallest degree, that you are standing in the presence of the living God. This reverence is not fear that paralyses, not dread that drives you away from me, but rather the awe of the creature who looks upon the Creator and understands, in the deepest chambers of the heart, that there is someone far greater, far wiser, far more loving than anything you could have imagined on your own. When that reverence settles into the roots of who you are, wisdom begins to grow. When you walk through your days with that understanding quietly alive inside you, every decision becomes clearer, every path becomes more illuminated. Every relationship takes on a depth and a richness that it could never have if you were navigating only by the light of your own understanding. So as you rest tonight, let this truth settle into you like warmth settling into your bones. The beginning of wisdom is to know that I am God, that I am good, and that I am yours. You belong to me, not because I have claimed you as property, but because I formed you with intention, with love, with a purpose that stretches further into eternity than you have yet been able to see. You were not an accident. You were not a mistake. You were not an afterthought in the story of creation. You were a thought in my heart before time had a name, and every detail of your life, every longing that rises in you, every gift that you carry, every wound that has shaped you, every question that has driven you searching, all of it exists within the scope of a love that has never wavered, a wisdom that has never been confused, a purpose that has never been lost. Let me speak to you about the path of wisdom, beloved, because this is what I desire for you more than comfort, more than ease, more than the temporary satisfactions that the world around you will endlessly promise and endlessly fail to deliver. I desire for you wisdom, because wisdom is the architecture of a life that is truly alive. Wisdom is not merely making good decisions, though it certainly produces that fruit. Wisdom is a way of seeing. It is the eyes of the heart open to perceive the deeper reality underneath the surface of every situation, every relationship, every moment you move through. The wise person sees what others cannot see. The wise person understands what others cannot understand. And the wise person walks in a steadiness and a peace that the world around them cannot explain, because that peace does not come from circumstances being arranged just right, but from a heart rooted and grounded in truth that does not shift with the seasons. I want you to receive tonight the truth that wisdom is calling out to you. Even now, in this quiet hour of rest, wisdom is not silent. Wisdom is calling. The way a voice calls across an open field, clear and carrying and impossible to ignore if you will simply become still enough to hear it. Wisdom calls in the corridors of your everyday life. Wisdom calls in the moments of decision you will face tomorrow. Wisdom calls in the relationships you will navigate, in the words you will choose to speak or to hold back, in the posture of your heart toward those around you. Wisdom has been calling to you your whole life, and tonight, in the stillness of this rest, I am inviting you to listen more deeply than you perhaps have before. The path of wisdom, beloved, is the path of the righteous, and that path shines more and more brightly as the days unfold. Do you understand what that means? It means you are not static. It means you are not trapped in who you were yesterday, or who you were in seasons that brought you low. The path you walk, when it is the path of wisdom, when it is aligned with my ways and rooted in my truth, is a path that grows brighter. The light increases, the understanding deepens, the fruit multiplies. Every year that passes, if you are walking in wisdom, should find you more deeply rooted, more richly fruitful, more genuinely at peace than the year before. This is my design for your life. This is the trajectory I have set before you. Not a downward spiral of increasing weariness and defeat, but an upward unfolding into more and more of who I created you to be. Rest now in that promise. Let your body settle even more deeply into the surface beneath you. Let every muscle release its holding. Let your jaw soften, let your hands uncurl, let your chest rise and fall in the gentle, unhurried rhythm of true rest. You are on a path that grows brighter. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be tonight. And my wisdom is at work in your life in ways that you are not always able to see, but that are absolutely and irrevocably real. Now let me speak to you about the heart, beloved, because wisdom and the heart are inseparable companions. The heart is the wellspring of your life. Everything that flows out of you, every word, every action, every response to the world around you, flows from what is in your heart. This is why I call you again and again to guard your heart, not with the fearful vigilance of someone trying to protect themselves from danger, but with the loving attention of a gardener who tends the soil where life grows. Your heart is the garden, and what you allow to take root in it, what you water with your attention and your meditation and your dwelling, will inevitably bear fruit in the life you live. This is why the words you feed your heart matter so profoundly. This is why the voices you choose to listen to shape the person you are becoming. This is why the company you keep, the things you dwell on when your mind is unguarded in the quiet moments, the images and stories and messages you allow to occupy your inner life, all of these are seeds being planted in the garden of your heart. Some of them are seeds of wisdom, seeds of truth, seeds of life. Others are seeds that, when they grow, will produce thorns and bitterness and confusion. I am not telling you this to create anxiety about every small choice, but to invite you into a life of beautiful intentionality. A life where you become an active and loving guardian of the inner world from which everything else in your life flows. Wisdom, beloved, is the most valuable treasure you could ever pursue. It is worth more than silver. It is worth more than gold. It is worth more than rubies, more than any precious thing the earth contains. The person who finds wisdom, the person who holds onto understanding and cultivates it through their days and nights, that person is truly rich in a way that no financial account can measure and no circumstance can diminish. The riches of wisdom are riches that cannot be stolen, cannot be lost in a market crash, cannot be taken from you by the cruelty of others or the shifting tides of fortune. When you have wisdom, you have something that will serve you in every season, in every challenge, in every unexpected turn the road of your life takes. Wisdom is the treasure hidden in the field, and it is worth selling everything else to obtain. But here is the beautiful thing I want you to hear tonight as you drift toward sleep. I am not withholding wisdom from you. I am not hiding it behind an impossible wall of requirements and achievements. I am not dangling it just out of reach as a reward for those who are perfect or those who have it all figured out. I am the God who gives wisdom generously. I give it without finding fault. I give it to those who ask, to those who seek, to those who come to me not with a performance of righteousness, but with an honest and open heart. If you lack wisdom, and every human being lacks wisdom in areas of their life, the answer is simply to ask me. Come to me in the simple directness of a child who knows that their father has what they need and will give it freely. Ask me for wisdom, and I will give it. Ask me for understanding, and it will come. Ask me for the discernment to navigate the complex and sometimes bewildering terrain of your life, and I will be faithful to provide it. This is my delight, beloved. This is one of the great joys of being your father. To answer when you call, to open when you knock, to give what you ask when what you ask is in alignment with my best for you. And wisdom is always my best for you. Understanding is always my best for you. A heart rooted in truth and growing toward the light, this is always, always my best for you. As you rest now, let these words become part of the quiet atmosphere of your inner world. You don't need to grip them or analyze them or worry about whether you are understanding them correctly. Simply let them wash over you the way warm water washes over tired and weary skin. Let them soak in. Let them find the places in you that have been thirsty for truth, and let them satisfy that thirst in the deep, unhurried way that only true rest allows. You are not here to perform tonight. You are not here to achieve. You are here simply to receive, and I am here simply to give. That is the wholeness of this moment. That is the gift of this quiet hour. Let me tell you about the person who walks in wisdom. The kind of person you can become more and more fully as you continue saying yes to the path I have set before you. The person who walks in wisdom is someone who speaks carefully. They understand the weight of words, the way a single sentence can build up or tear down, can heal or wound, can open a heart or close it. The wise person has learned, sometimes through the painful experience of speaking without thinking and watching the damage unfold, that the tongue is an instrument of extraordinary power. Power for good and power for harm in equal measure. The words that leave your mouth are never neutral. They are always doing something. They are always landing somewhere. They are always shaping reality in ways both large and small. The wise person chooses words that bring life. They speak truth, yes, because truth matters enormously, and a life built on deception is a life built on sand that will not hold when the storms come. But they speak truth in the way that a surgeon uses a scalpel, with precision, with care, with the clear intention of healing rather than harming. They understand that truth can be spoken harshly in a way that wounds unnecessarily, or it can be spoken with gentleness and genuine regard for the person receiving it. And that the second way is nearly always better. A gentle answer, beloved, turns away anger. A kind word has power that a harsh word never will. A tongue that knows when to speak and when to be silent. That knows how to say what needs to be said and how to leave space for others to be heard. This is one of the most beautiful and most powerful instruments of wisdom you can develop in your life. Think about the relationships in your life tonight, the people you love, the people you work alongside, the people you encounter every day in the ordinary rhythms of your life. How often could a softer word have prevented an escalation? How often could a word of genuine encouragement have altered the entire trajectory of someone's day, someone's week, someone's sense of themselves and their worth? You carry, in the words you choose, an extraordinary capacity to be a source of life and hope and genuine goodness in the world around you. The wise person understands this and takes it seriously, not as a burden but as a privilege, not as a performance to be perfected, but as a natural outflow of a heart that has been filled with love and shaped by wisdom. Now let me speak to you about pride and humility, because these two forces are at the center of so much of what determines the quality and the direction of a human life. Pride, not the healthy, grateful sense of doing something well or the joy of being truly seen and valued, but pride in the sense of a heart that has elevated itself above its proper position. A heart that has decided it knows better than I do, that has stopped listening because it has decided it already has all the answers. That has become so defended and so self-referential that truth can no longer get in. This kind of pride is the fertile soil in which destruction grows. And I say this not as a warning designed to frighten you, but as a description of how reality works. When a heart closes itself off in pride, when it refuses instruction and correction, and the humbling that is necessary for all genuine growth, it is setting itself up for a fall that could have been avoided. The way that seems right to a person who has closed themselves off in pride will lead them somewhere they do not want to go. But humility is something entirely different. Humility is not smallness. Humility is not self-deprecation or the belief that you have no value. Humility is not weakness. Humility is the accurate perception of reality, an understanding that I am God and you are not, that I am the source of every good thing in your life and you are the recipient, that you were designed to live in dependence on me and in connection with others rather than in the isolated self-sufficiency that pride promises but never delivers. Humility is the posture that keeps you teachable. It is what keeps the door of your heart open to the correction that helps you grow, to the wisdom that comes from sources you might not have expected, to the grace that I am perpetually pouring out over a world that does not always notice it. Honor follows humility the way dawn follows darkness. Those who humble themselves before me and before others, those who walk with a genuine other-centeredness and a willingness to learn and to be shaped, those who can receive correction without being destroyed by it and can give correction with genuine love rather than superiority, these are the ones who will be lifted up. Not through grasping or striving or self-promotion, but through the natural unfolding of a life lived according to my wisdom. Promotion comes from me. Recognition comes from me. The honor that truly matters, the deep recognition of who you are and what you carry. The sense of being truly seen and valued. This comes not from positioning yourself above others, but from walking in the authentic goodness and wisdom that I have placed inside of you. Let your body rest even more deeply now, beloved. Feel the weight of your eyelids. Feel the comfortable heaviness settling through your arms, your legs, your whole body surrendering to the rest it needs and deserves. Your mind is growing quieter. The thoughts that have been circling are slowing, settling, releasing their grip on your attention. You are safe. You are held in the hands of the one who loves you, with a love that is stronger than every force in the universe. A love that no mistake you have made has diminished, and no failure you have experienced has changed. You are deeply, completely, eternally loved. And in that love, let me speak to you about the way wisdom approaches the people in your life, because your relationships are perhaps the most significant arena in which wisdom expresses itself. The quality of your relationships, the depth of your connections with the people around you, the nature of the love you give and receive. These are the fruit by which the wisdom or the foolishness of a life is most clearly visible. A life that is growing in wisdom is a life in which relationships are becoming more authentic, more loving, more characterized by genuine service and genuine honesty. The wise person chooses their close companions carefully. This is not an expression of elitism or superiority, but of understanding. The people you spend the most time with, the voices that most consistently speak into your inner life, the examples you are watching day after day, these things shape you whether you are aware of it or not. Iron sharpens iron, beloved. The right companions sharpen you, challenge you, bring out the best that is already in you, and reflect back to you a more complete picture of who you are and who you can become. They make you more, not less. They strengthen your commitment to wisdom and goodness rather than slowly eroding it. They speak truth to you even when it's uncomfortable, and they love you genuinely enough to not just tell you what you want to hear. This does not mean you should have no compassion for those who are struggling, no willingness to love those who are in difficult places in their lives. The wise person is not someone who withdraws into a small circle of the perfect and refuses engagement with the messy reality of human brokenness. You are called to love generously, to extend grace freely, to be a presence of genuine goodness in a world that so desperately needs it. But there is wisdom in understanding which relationships are meant to be deep, formative, mutually sharpening partnerships, and which are meant to be characterized by a kind of gracious love that doesn't require you to submit to unhealthy influence. You can love someone deeply and serve them genuinely without allowing their dysfunction to become the daily atmosphere in which your own heart is shaped. The wise person is also a faithful person. Faithfulness is one of the most beautiful and most undervalued qualities in the world we live in. In a culture that celebrates novelty and constantly offers easier options and shinier alternatives, faithfulness stands as a quiet but powerful testimony to the value of commitment. The beauty of staying, the deep richness that develops in relationships and endeavors when you choose again and again to remain present and engaged, rather than drifting away when things become difficult. The faithful person can be trusted. Their word means something. When they make a commitment, it holds. When they say they will be there, they are there. When they say they love you, that love is not contingent on your performance or your ability to meet their needs in every moment. It is a love that has decided to stay. This is the love I have for you, beloved. This is the faithfulness that defines my relationship with you. I do not drift away when you are struggling. I do not withdraw my love when you fail. I do not grow weary of your questions or your doubts or your seasons of distance. My faithfulness toward you is as constant as my own nature, and my nature does not change. The same God who loved you into existence, who knit every detail of who you are together with care and intention, who set the path of wisdom before you and placed in you every good gift you carry, that same God is here with you tonight, and will be here tomorrow, and will never, not for a single moment, abandon you. Let that truth be the deep ground of your rest tonight, not the circumstances of your life, which will continue to shift and surprise you. Not your own sense of adequacy, which will rise and fall with the normal rhythms of being human, but the unchanging, unshakable faithfulness of the one who made you and loves you and holds every piece of your life in hands that have never once lost anything they were entrusted to keep. Now I want to speak to you about the way wisdom approaches the work of your life, the practical, daily labor of building the life you have been given. Because wisdom is not only for the grand questions and the major turning points. Wisdom is for the ordinary, for the Tuesday mornings and the Wednesday afternoons, for the repetitive tasks and the small decisions and the unremarkable rhythms of a regular day. It is in these ordinary moments that the true quality of wisdom is revealed, because it is easy to seem wise in the highlight moments. But the wisdom that has truly become part of who you are is the wisdom that expresses itself in how you spend your mornings, how you treat the people you encounter every day, how you manage the resources and the opportunities you have been given, how you show up when no one is watching and there is no reward in sight. The ant, that smallest and most overlooked of creatures, carries within its life a profound lesson. The ant does not need a commander standing over it. The ant does not need constant supervision or external motivation to show up to the work that needs to be done. The ant perceives what is required and does it, gathering in the summer for the winter, building and maintaining without drama or complaint, working with a consistency and a faithfulness that puts to shame many who are far more gifted but far less diligent. Diligence is a form of wisdom, the willingness to do the necessary work, to show up day after day with your whole self, to finish what you start and start what you know needs to begin. This is not glamorous, but it is foundational. The life built on diligence has a stability and a fruitfulness that the life of brilliant spurts followed by long stretches of avoidance will never achieve. The person who gives their hands to good work and keeps giving them, day after day, will not stand in a place of lack. They will stand before people of influence. They will see their labor produce fruit that multiplies over time. The rewards of diligence are real, though they rarely arrive in the dramatic and immediate way that our impatience tends to desire. They build gradually, steadily, compounding over time the way seeds grow into trees that eventually provide shade for people who weren't even present when the seeds were planted. Your faithful, diligent labor today is planting seeds that will bear fruit for others long after you are gone. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Do not grow weary of doing good. The harvest is coming, in my timing and in my way, and it will be worth the wait. But I also want to speak to you about rest, because wisdom understands the rhythm of labor and rest that I built into the very structure of creation. The universe runs on rhythms day and night, the seasons turning, the tides rising and falling, the body sleeping and waking. These rhythms are not accidents or inconveniences to be engineered around. They are the design of a loving creator who understood, before human beings existed to discover it, that life requires cycles of activity and replenishment, of engagement and withdrawal, of pouring out and being refilled. Rest is not laziness. Rest is obedience to the design. It is the wisdom that says, I am a creature, not a machine, and I was made to receive as well as to give, to be replenished as well as to work, to be still as well as to be busy. You are resting now, beloved, and this rest is good. This rest is right. This rest is exactly what this hour is designed for, and I am with you in it. The hours of sleep you give to your body are not wasted hours. They are hours in which restoration happens at levels deeper than your conscious awareness can track. Your body is repaired. Your mind is processed and sorted and renewed. Your spirit is refreshed in the quiet communion of rest. And I am here in the stillness, speaking to the depths of who you are in ways that your waking mind sometimes is too busy and too noisy to receive. Some of my best work in a human life happens in the hours of sleep, when the defenses are down and the striving has ceased, and the heart is finally quiet enough to hear what I have been wanting to say. So rest deeply tonight, beloved. Let yourself receive the full gift of this rest. Don't fight the sleep when it comes. Don't lie awake in the anxious replaying of everything that went wrong today or everything that might go wrong tomorrow. Give all of that to me. Roll the weight of your cares onto my shoulders, because my shoulders are broad enough to carry them, and my care for you is attentive enough that nothing important will slip through the cracks. You can sleep tonight, truly sleep, with the trust of a child who knows that the house is safe, that the door is locked, that the person who loves them most is keeping watch. I am keeping watch. I am never asleep, never distracted, never inattentive to the details of your life. I can hold everything while you rest. I can be trusted with all of it. And as you rest, let me continue to pour wisdom into you. The wisdom of understanding what is truly valuable and what is not. The wisdom of learning to hold loosely the things that are temporary and to hold tightly the things that are eternal. The world around you will constantly compete for your attention and your allegiance, offering endless variations of the same basic promise, that this thing, this achievement, this possession, this status, this pleasure will finally deliver the satisfaction and the security, and the meaning that your heart has been looking for. And the world is very good at packaging these promises in appealing ways, in ways that are convincing enough that even people who have been disappointed before will reach for them again, hoping this time will be different. Wisdom sees through the packaging. Wisdom looks at the long game and asks not just what this will feel like tomorrow, but what it will produce over time. Not just whether this will bring pleasure, but whether it will bring genuine goodness and lasting fruit. Wisdom understands that money is a tool, not a master, and that the love of money, the worship of it, the willingness to compromise everything that is genuinely good in order to accumulate more of it, leads not to the satisfaction it promises, but to a restlessness and a hollowness that more money will never fill. I want you to be generous, beloved. I want you to hold what you have with an open hand, to understand that what I have entrusted to you is meant to flow through you rather than simply accumulate around you. The generous person, the person whose hand is always open to give, will never be in lack. Generosity is not foolishness. It is wisdom operating in the realm of material reality, and it produces a fruitfulness that hoarding never can. Wisdom also knows that reputation, the good name that is built slowly through consistent integrity and kindness and reliability, is worth more than silver. A good name, beloved, is one of the most precious things you can have. It is built in the small choices, the moments when you keep your word even when it's inconvenient, the times when you treat someone with dignity even when they have no power or influence, the instances when you choose honesty over convenience and integrity over image. These small choices compound over time into the kind of person who is trusted, the kind of person whose presence makes others feel safe, the kind of person whose word means something and whose character is a consistent gift to everyone around them. There is a way of living, beloved, that appears right on the surface but leads eventually to death, to the death of relationships, to the death of integrity, to the death of the truest and best things that could have been, if different choices had been made. This is the way of those who are clever rather than wise, who have learned to appear good while doing what serves only themselves, who speak with smoothness and charm, while their hearts are not aligned with what they are saying. I am not describing you when I say this. I am describing a way of living that I want you to be wise enough to recognize and to refuse, both in how you live and in the people you choose to trust most deeply. Not everyone who speaks beautifully is speaking truly. Not everyone who presents themselves as an ally has your genuine good at heart. The discernment to know the difference is one of wisdom's most practical gifts, and I am willing to give it to you. The wise person learns to read not just the words but the patterns. Not just what people say but what they consistently do. Not just the presentation of a moment but the fruit of a life. And the wise person also extends grace, because discernment is not cynicism. You can be genuinely discerning about where you extend trust most deeply without becoming suspicious of everyone, and closed to the beautiful surprise of people's goodness. Most people are doing the best they can with what they have. Most people, when they are difficult, are dealing with wounds and fears that have nothing to do with you. Extending grace, giving the benefit of the doubt, assuming the best where the best is a reasonable assumption. This is the posture of wisdom informed by love. And it makes your life and the lives of those around you more bearable, more beautiful, and more deeply human. Let me speak to you now about the inner life, the hidden life of the heart that the world around you cannot see. Because ultimately, wisdom is not about what you do, but about who you are. And who you are is shaped in the secret places of your inner life far more than it is shaped by your public performance. The meditation of your heart, the things you turn over in your mind in the quiet moments, the images you return to, the narratives you tell yourself about who you are and what you are worth and what is possible for your life. All of these are forming you, constantly and powerfully. in the direction they are oriented. This is why I call you to think about what is true, what is honorable, what is just, what is pure, what is lovely, what is commendable. Not because reality isn't sometimes hard and painful and difficult, but because what you dwell on in your inner life becomes the atmosphere in which your soul lives. And your soul needs truth and beauty and goodness, as surely as your body needs air and water and food. The person who fills their inner life with anxiety, who rehearses worst-case scenarios, who meditates endlessly on their failures and their inadequacies and the ways they have been wronged, is building a prison for themselves out of thoughts. And the person who fills their inner life with gratitude, with awareness of my goodness and my faithfulness, with truth about their value and their purpose and the love that holds them, is building a home for themselves where they can be truly at rest. I am not asking you to deny reality or to pretend that hard things aren't hard. I am asking you to hold hard things within the larger context of a goodness and a love that are greater than the hardness. That context changes everything. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices of wisdom. Not the performance of gratitude, not the forced expression of thanks when your heart doesn't feel it, but the cultivated habit of noticing, truly noticing, the gifts that are present in your life alongside the difficulties. The breath you are drawing in this moment is a gift. The body that carries you through your days, imperfect as it is a gift. The relationships in your life, the moments of beauty and laughter and genuine connection, the small pleasures that punctuate the ordinary, all of these are gifts from my hand. Evidence of a love that is constantly reaching toward you in 1,000 small ways. When you learn to see them, when you develop the eyes that can notice the goodness in the middle of the hardness, you are practicing one of the most transformative forms of wisdom there is. Your thinking is becoming slower now, beloved. The words are flowing into you like a gentle river, carrying you further and further into the deep rest that your body and your spirit are calling for. Let yourself go there. Let the sleep come. Let the conscious grip on the details of your life soften and release. I am here. I am holding everything. You can let go. In the gentle space between waking and sleeping, let me pour into you the final streams of this evening's wisdom. Let me speak to you about hope, because wisdom without hope is a cold and sterile thing. The wise person is not merely someone who navigates life effectively, who makes good decisions and avoids foolish ones. The wise person is someone who lives with an orientation toward the future that is rooted in trust, the trust that good things are coming, that the morning always follows the night, that the seed planted in good soil will bear fruit in its season, that what I have promised I am faithful to deliver. This hope is not wishful thinking. It is not the naive optimism that refuses to acknowledge the real difficulties of a real life. It is the settled confidence of a heart that has known my faithfulness long enough to trust it with the future, even when the future is uncertain. Your future is not uncertain to me. Every day of your life was written in my book before any of them came to be. I have plans for you, plans rooted in goodness and hope, and the rich fruitfulness of a life lived in alignment with my wisdom. These plans are not derailed by your mistakes or your seasons of wandering. They are not diminished by the hardships you have endured or the grief you have carried. My plans for you are larger than your failures, and my love for you is stronger than every force that has ever worked against you. Rest in that tonight. Let that truth be the pillow beneath your head and the blanket around your shoulders, and the warmth in the room of your resting soul. Wisdom is not only for the young or the brilliant or the specially gifted. Wisdom is for all who seek it, all who come with open and hungry hearts, all who are willing to listen and to learn and to be shaped by truth rather than defending themselves against it. You have been seeking, beloved. I have seen your seeking. I have seen the questions you have carried and the sincerity with which you have sought answers. I have seen the moments when you chose the harder right over the easier wrong, when you reached for generosity when selfishness would have been simpler, when you chose to forgive when bitterness would have felt more justified. I have seen all of it, and I am pleased, not because you have been perfect, but because your heart has been turned toward me. Not because you have achieved some impossible standard, but because you have been willing to keep walking the path even when it was hard, and even when you couldn't see very far ahead. Keep walking, beloved. Keep seeking. Keep asking me for wisdom and understanding and the discernment to navigate each day with grace. Keep choosing words that give life, relationships that sharpen and strengthen you, practices that tend the inner garden of your heart. Keep extending generosity and receiving grace in equal measure. Keep choosing humility over pride, faithfulness over convenience, truth over flattery. Keep bringing your whole self to me, not the polished version you want me to see, but the real, complex, still being formed person you actually are. I love that person. I delight in that person. I have extraordinary things prepared for that person in the days and years ahead. The night is deep around you now. The world outside is quiet. The demands and the noise and the pressing obligations of your life are at a distance, held there by the natural grace of this sleeping hour. You don't have to solve anything tonight. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are, a beloved child, resting in the presence of a father whose love for you has no bottom and no ceiling. No beginning that wasn't before time, and no ending that can be imagined. That love is your inheritance. That love is your security. That love is the ground on which you stand even when the ground around you seems to be shifting. Let your breath slow even further. Let the last traces of wakefulness dissolve like morning mist dissolving in the first warmth of day. You are loved. You are held. You are on a path that grows brighter. The wisdom that began this night's journey with you is now settling into the depths of who you are, taking root in places below the reach of conscious awareness, being planted in the heart where it will grow quietly and steadily and produce fruit in its season. Trust the planting, trust the process, trust the planter. I speak over you tonight the blessing of a father over a child who is deeply cherished. May you sleep in peace, held in safety and love. May your mind be renewed in rest, and your body be restored. May your heart receive in these quiet hours what it has been most needing, the deep certainty that you are not alone, that you are guided, that you are walking a path that leads somewhere good. May wisdom increase in you day by day, growing wider and deeper, and more richly fruitful as the years of your life unfold. May the words of your mouth and the meditations of your heart be always aligned with what is true and good and beautiful. May your relationships be full of genuine love and faithful presence. May your work bear lasting fruit. May your life be an expression of the extraordinary goodness that I have placed within you and the extraordinary love I have lavished over you. Sleep now, beloved. Let the night do its healing work. Let the silence be a kindness. Let rest be your worship and your trust be your song. I am here in the darkness with you, the same God who spoke light into being, who set the stars in their places, who breathed life into the dust and made it a living soul. I am your God. You are my beloved, and in the morning when the light comes again, you will wake refreshed and renewed and ready for the gift of another day. But for now there is only this, the deep, quiet, unhurried gift of rest, and my presence with you in it, always, in every breath, in every heartbeat. In every moment of this night and every night and all the days and nights of your life that are still to come. Rest now. Rest in the wisdom that holds all things together. Rest in the love that will never let you go. Rest in the peace that passes understanding, the peace that the world cannot give and cannot take away, the peace that is the gift of the one who made you for this, for deep, genuine, free, full, and flourishing life. You are on your way there, beloved. You have always been on your way there, and I will be with you every single step. Every single step. Let go now, let the sleep come. Let the night be full of grace. Let wisdom continue its quiet work in the depths of your being all through these still and sacred hours. When morning comes, it will come with new mercies and new light and the same unchanging love that was here tonight, watching over you, whispering truth into the garden of your heart, and delighting, simply, completely, endlessly delighting in the one you are. Good night, beloved. Sleep well. You are held. You are loved. You are cherished beyond all measure. And wisdom is yours for the asking, now and always, from the one who knows you most fully and loves you most completely, the one whose name is above every name and whose heart is your forever home. Sleep, rest, be at peace. All is well, I am here, and that will always, always be enough. Let the wisdom of eternity settle into you now like snow settling softly over a still winter landscape, covering every sharp edge, every rough and jagged place, with a quiet and beautiful grace. The God who created wisdom before the world began, who delighted in it before the first human heart had learned to seek it, who wove the principles of wise living into the very fabric of created reality, the same way he wove the principles of physics into the structure of the cosmos. This God is speaking over you tonight. And wisdom is not abstract. It is not a collection of principles to be memorized. It is alive. It is personal. It is the way of walking through the world that I designed for you from before you were born, the way that leads to genuine life, to the deepest flourishing your nature is capable of, to the rich and overflowing abundance of a life fully lived in the center of my love and my will. You are made for wisdom, beloved. It is not foreign to you. When wisdom speaks, there is something in the deepest part of who you are that recognizes it, that resonates with it the way a string resonates when the right note is sounded near it. You were made to live wisely. You were made to know me and to walk in the ways that reflect my character and express my love in the world. Every time you choose generosity, every time you speak the truth in love, every time you humble yourself and remain teachable, every time you guard your heart and tend the inner garden of your thoughts and desires, in all of these moments, you are living out the design you were made for, and there is a rightness to it, a deep resonance of who you truly are with what you are doing, that nothing else in life can produce. Breathe that truth in now, even as you drift toward the deepest rest. You are made for wisdom. You are designed for goodness. You are built for love. And I am building that reality more and more fully into the substance of who you are with every passing day, every experience you walk through, every moment of seeking, and every moment of rest. Trust the building, trust the builder. Trust that the finished work, the person you are being shaped into over the full arc of your life, is even more beautiful and more whole and more genuinely alive than you can currently imagine. The wisdom I am pouring into you tonight goes deeper than words. It reaches into the very foundations of who you are and does its work there, in the places below thought and below feeling, in the bedrock level of your being where what you truly believe about yourself and about me and about the nature of reality determines everything that rises from it in how you live and how you love and how you move through the world. Let the wisdom go that deep tonight. Let it do its deep, foundational work while you sleep. And wake tomorrow with something more settled in you, something more rooted, something more genuinely at peace than you had when the day began. This is my gift to you tonight. This is my love for you expressed in wisdom and truth and the quiet power of the living word. Receive it, beloved. Let it be yours. It is given freely with great joy from the deepest place of a father's love. Sleep now. All is well. I am here, and I always will be. And yet, beloved, even as sleep is drawing you into its arms, I want to continue walking with you through the landscape of wisdom, because there is still so much I want to share with you. So much that belongs to you by inheritance as my child. so much that can transform the ordinary fabric of your days into something luminous and rich and deeply alive. So let these words continue to flow over you like a river flowing over smooth stones, not demanding your active engagement, but simply passing through you. Leaving something behind that will remain when the words themselves have dissolved into the dreamscape of your sleeping mind. Let me speak to you about the wisdom of the seasons of life, because life does not move in a straight line, and wisdom understands this. There are seasons of sowing and seasons of harvest. There are seasons of abundance and seasons of want. There are seasons when everything seems to be expanding and opening, and seasons when everything seems to be contracting and closing. There are seasons of clarity and seasons of fog, seasons of strength and seasons of weariness. Seasons when the path ahead is visible for a great distance, and seasons when you can barely see the next step. All of these seasons are real, all of them are valid. And all of them, every single one of them, are held within the larger arc of my purpose for your life, which moves always and without fail toward the good. In the seasons of abundance, wisdom says, give thanks. Give thanks fully, generously, without the hedging and the qualifying that anxiety introduces into gratitude. Let yourself be genuinely glad. Let yourself receive the goodness fully, without the anxious undercurrent that whispers this will not last. Enjoy it before it disappears. Goodness is meant to be received with open hands and a full heart. The person who cannot allow themselves to fully inhabit the good seasons, who is always bracing for the loss before the loss has come, is missing the very gift they have been given. Be present in the seasons of abundance. Let them fill you all the way. Let yourself be genuinely glad. This is not foolishness. This is wisdom operating in the key of gratitude. And in the seasons of scarcity, wisdom says, trust me. Trust that I know where you are. Trust that I have not forgotten the desires I placed in your heart. Trust that the harvest is coming even when all you can see is the bare and waiting ground. The farmer who loses faith and tears up the seeds before they have had time to germinate is the farmer who will never see the harvest. There is a patience required by the rhythms of real life that impatience destroys, a willingness to wait in the gap between the planting and the harvest without panicking, without abandoning the work, without concluding that nothing is happening simply because you cannot yet see the fruit above the ground. Beneath the surface, in the darkness and the quiet of the soil, things are growing. They are always growing. And the fruit that comes from patient, faithful, trusting waiting is sweeter and more substantial than anything rushed would have been. I want you to understand tonight that every season you have walked through, including the hard ones, including the ones that left marks on you, including the ones where you felt most alone and most uncertain and most tempted to wonder where I was, every single season has been producing something in you. The strength that comes only from difficulty, the compassion that comes only from knowing pain firsthand, the humility that comes from having your own insufficient resources clearly revealed, the deeper dependence on me that comes from the seasons when you could not lean on yourself. All of these are gifts, beloved, gifts wrapped in packaging that doesn't look like gifts at all, but that, in time and with the eyes of wisdom, reveal themselves as some of the most valuable things you have ever been given. I do not cause suffering for its own sake. I do not arrange difficulty to punish you or to prove a point. But in a world where pain and loss and difficulty are real, I am the God who redeems. I am the God who enters into the hard places and draws from them something that otherwise could not exist. I am the God who makes all things work together for good in the lives of those who love me and are walking according to my purposes. This is not a promise that everything will always feel good. This is a promise that nothing will be wasted, that every experience, every encounter, every season of darkness, and every season of light is being woven together by my hand into a story that is ultimately and irreversibly good. you can trust that. Not as a platitude, not as a deflection from the reality of what is hard, but as the solid ground of genuine hope. Now let me speak to you about the tongue and the power of words, because this is a topic that wisdom returns to again and again. Understanding that the mouth is one of the most powerful instruments any human being possesses, and that the wise use of it can shape an entire life and touch many others' lives for good. The words you speak tonight, tomorrow, next week, they are going somewhere. They are landing in the hearts of people who will carry what you said long after you have forgotten saying it. A parent's words to a child plant seeds that grow for decades. A mentor's words to a student can change the entire direction of a life. A friend's words in a moment of genuine darkness can be the very thing that holds someone together long enough for the light to return. Words are not small things. They are not casual or inconsequential. They are real and they are powerful, and they carry your heart's intent into the world in ways that matter enormously. There is a kind of silence that is itself a form of speech, and wisdom understands how to use it. The ability to listen fully, to give someone the profound gift of your undivided attention, without preparing your response while they are still talking, without redirecting the conversation back to your own experience at the first available opening. This is one of the most powerful expressions of love that any person can offer another. When you listen truly, when you are fully present to what someone is sharing, when they feel genuinely heard and understood, something happens in the relationship that cannot be achieved by any amount of good advice or clever problem solving. They feel known, and to feel known is one of the deepest needs of the human heart. I know you, beloved. I know you more completely than you know yourself. I know the thoughts you haven't yet formed into words. I know the fears behind the brave face. I know the longings beneath the contentment you project. I know the questions that have kept you awake on nights when sleep wouldn't come. I know the hopes you have almost stopped allowing yourself to hope because they have been disappointed before. I know all of it, and in knowing it, I love you. Not despite it, not around it, but straight through it. My love reaches into the most hidden and most complicated parts of who you are and loves what it finds there without flinching, without turning away, without requiring you to clean it all up before I will come near. This is the love that casts out fear, beloved. This is the love that makes it possible to be honest, truly honest, in your relationship with me. Because you are not performing for a judge who will condemn you, but being known by a Father who already knows and already loves. This is the foundation from which wisdom grows most freely, because wisdom requires honesty about who you are and where you are, about what you know and what you don't know, about where you are thriving and where you are struggling. When you can be honest with me about all of it, without the shame and the performance and the management of impression, wisdom has the raw material it needs to do its transformative work. The fear of man, the anxiety about what others think of you, the management of your image and your reputation, the compromises made in the service of approval, is a snare, beloved. A trap that looks like safety, but is actually a form of captivity. The person who lives primarily for the approval of those around them is enslaved to the most unpredictable and most demanding of masters. Because human approval is fickle and conditional and impossible to secure permanently, it will always require more and give less. It will always move the goalposts. It will always leave you feeling that you are one failure away from losing the acceptance you have worked so hard to maintain. But the person who has found their security in me, whose sense of worth and belonging comes from knowing that they are known and loved by the living God, that person is free. Free to speak the truth even when it's unpopular. Free to make the right choice even when the crowd is going a different direction. Free to fail without being destroyed by it, because their identity is not staked on their performance. Free to stand alone when standing alone is what integrity requires. This is one of the most liberating gifts wisdom can bring to a human life. The freedom that comes from having your worth settled once and for all in a love that doesn't change with circumstances. You are worthy, beloved, not because of what you have accomplished or what you look like or how much you earn or what others think of you. You are worthy because I made you and I love you. And those are facts that cannot be altered by any human assessment or any fluctuation in fortune. Let that settle into you tonight like an anchor settling to the ocean floor. A deep and heavy and absolutely secure hold that will keep you steady when the waters above you are turbulent and uncertain. You are worthy, you are loved, you are seen, you are known, and nothing, not failure, not mistake, not the cruelty of others or the harshness of circumstances, nothing can change that. As wisdom speaks to you about your worth, let it also speak to you about your purpose, because you are not here by accident and you are not here simply to endure. You are here with a specific shape to contribute, a particular expression of my love and my goodness that only you can bring. The wisdom you are being given, the gifts you carry, the experiences that have shaped you, the relationships you have been placed in, all of these are the raw materials of a purpose that is larger than you can see from where you currently stand. You are part of a story that extends far beyond your own life, and the faithfulness with which you play your part, however small or large it may seem in your own estimation, contributes to something that matters in ways you will not fully understand on this side of eternity. Don't make the mistake of comparing your purpose with someone else's. The comparison trap is one of wisdom's great enemies because comparison always distorts. When you compare your gifts to someone else's gifts, your calling to someone else's calling, your season to someone else's season, you are always working with incomplete information. You are seeing their outside and comparing it to your inside. You are measuring their highlight reel against your blooper reel. You are evaluating the visible parts of their journey while remaining blind to the costs and the struggles and the hidden difficulties that are as real in their life as they are in yours. Comparison produces either pride or despair, and both of these are the opposite of wisdom. Wisdom says, run your own race. Do the work that is yours to do. Develop the gifts that are yours to develop. Love the people you have been given to love. Walk the path you have been placed on with the fullness of who you are. And let me speak to you about the reward that is coming for faithfulness, because the wise person lives with an eye on eternity, understanding that the full accounting of a life is not completed in time. The person who did good in secret and was never publicly recognized for it, whose service was quiet, and whose sacrifice was invisible to all but me, I see it. Every act of genuine goodness, every choice made for the right reason, every moment of faithfulness when unfaithfulness would have been easier, every kindness extended without expectation of return. I see all of it, and it is being recorded in a register that is more accurate and more complete than any human accounting system. Nothing is lost, nothing is forgotten, nothing done in love for my sake and for the genuine good of others is without its reward in my economy. This does not mean that you should do good in order to earn reward, for that would poison the very spring from which genuine goodness flows. The heart that gives because it loves is purer than the heart that gives in order to receive, and I know the difference. But it does mean that you can live without bitterness in the gaps where good deeds go unrecognized and faithfulness goes unrewarded by human accounting. You can lay down the burden of needing to be acknowledged and trusted to do right even when no one is watching, because you are not doing it for human applause. You are doing it because you are a person of wisdom and goodness, because it is who you are, and because you know that the one who matters most sees everything. The righteous person may not always prosper in the ways that the world around them would recognize as success. There have been, throughout the long history of humanity, people of extraordinary wisdom and goodness, whose external circumstances did not reflect the richness of their inner lives. But the peace they carried, the depth of their connection with me, the genuine love they were able to give and receive, the fruit they produced in the lives they touched, these things were real. These things were far more real than the external markers of success that the world celebrates. And in the fullness of time, in the complete accounting of all things, their faithfulness will be seen for what it is: precious, significant, eternal. So rest tonight in the confidence that your faithfulness matters. Your small, everyday choices toward goodness and wisdom matter. Your prayers, your kindness, your diligence, your honest dealings, your gentle words, all of it matters. The ripples of a life lived well spread further than any of us can see in the moment of our choosing. Be faithful, be true, be kind, be wise. And trust me with the results, including the results you will not live to see, including the fruit that will grow from seeds you planted in people and places and moments you have already forgotten. It is all held in my awareness. It is all moving toward the good, and you, beloved, are part of it. Now the night is deep and the rest is truly needed. Your body is becoming still, your breathing has slowed, and the world of waking thoughts and waking concerns has grown very far away. I am with you in this stillness, as present in the silence as I am in the most eloquent word, as close to you in the darkness of this sleeping hour as I am in the brightest noon. My presence does not require your attention to be real. My love does not depend on your awareness of it to be fully operative in your life. Even when you sleep, even when you are not thinking about me or reaching toward me or speaking to me, I am here, working in you, working for you, tending the garden of your life with the tireless devotion of a love that never sleeps and never tires and never turns away. The wisdom of Proverbs, the ancient and living wisdom that has guided human lives for thousands of years. The wisdom that is ultimately wisdom about the character and the ways of the God who spoke it into being. This wisdom is not locked in the past. It is alive. It is as relevant to your life tonight, with all its modern complexity and its unique challenges, as it was when it was first written. Because the deepest needs of the human heart do not change. The need for genuine love and authentic connection, the need for a sense of purpose and the deep satisfaction of meaningful work, the need for truth that holds, for a ground beneath the feet that does not shift, for a love that does not fail. These needs are as ancient as humanity itself, and wisdom speaks to all of them with a directness and a fullness that nothing else has ever equaled. You have this wisdom available to you, beloved. Not just in the moments when you sit down deliberately to read and to study and to seek understanding, but in the ordinary moments of your life, in the decisions that come up unexpectedly, in the conversations that require something from you that you didn't have time to prepare for, in the relationships that are more complicated than any advice you've read has fully addressed. In all of these moments, the spirit of wisdom is available to you, ready to give insight and clarity and the kind of knowing that transcends information. The intuitive sense of what is true and what is right and what love requires in this particular situation at this particular moment. You don't have to navigate any of it alone. You have access to the wisdom of the one who sees all things and knows all things and loves you completely. Ask. In the moments when you don't know what to do, when the right path isn't clear, when the relationship is complicated and the stakes are high and your own wisdom feels inadequate, ask. Simply, directly, honestly, without the lengthy qualifications and the elaborate justifications that complicate prayer into something it was never meant to be. Just ask. And trust that the answer will come, in my time and in my way, through the inner knowing that becomes clearer as you wait in trust, through the counsel of someone I bring across your path, through the word that leaps off the page and lands directly in the center of your question, through the circumstance that opens or closes a door. I am speaking constantly, beloved. The challenge is not that I am silent, The challenge is learning to listen, learning to slow down enough from the noise of the world and the noise of your own internal chatter to hear the gentle, persistent voice of wisdom speaking in the quiet. This hour of rest is an hour of listening, even if you are not aware of listening. Even in sleep, there is a part of you that remains open to the deeper things, a part of you that receives what the conscious waking mind sometimes moves too fast to catch. So even as you drift deeper into sleep, know that the words being spoken over you tonight are not disappearing when your awareness of them fades. They are going deeper. They are finding the places in you that most need to be touched by truth and love and wisdom, and they are doing their work there, quietly, faithfully, in the way that the best and most foundational work always happens, in the hidden places, in the quiet times, below the surface of the obvious and the dramatic, in the deep. Trust the deep work, beloved. Trust the slow, hidden, foundational transformation that is happening in you even when you cannot see it and cannot feel it and have no evidence of it except the faith that I am who I say I am, and that I do what I say I will do. Trust that the seed of wisdom, once planted in good soil, will grow. Trust that the roots going down in the unseen places are the very thing that will make the growth above the surface sustainable when it comes. Trust that the patient, faithful, humble walk of a person who seeks me and listens to me and follows the wisdom I give is the walk that leads to genuine and lasting fruitfulness. And let me close this night's journey through wisdom with this. You are not on this path alone. You have never been alone on this path. Every step you have taken, I have taken with you. Every valley you have walked through, I walked beside you. Every mountaintop you have reached, I was there rejoicing in your joy. Every moment of doubt and discouragement and genuine wondering whether any of this was real, I was there, more present than your doubt acknowledged, more real than your discouragement allowed you to feel. I have never left you. I will never leave you. This is my promise and my nature and my eternal commitment to the child I love. When morning comes, it will come with new mercies, literally new. Not recycled versions of yesterday's provision, not leftover grace from last week, but fresh, new, specifically suited to the day ahead mercies that were prepared for you before the day began. Every morning is a new beginning with me. Every morning is a fresh page in the story I am writing with your life. Every morning is another opportunity to step into the wisdom and the love and the purpose I have set before you. With everything that happened yesterday, both the good that you want to hold on to and the hard that you need to release, given into my keeping and not carried as a weight into the new day. So sleep tonight with that confidence. Sleep knowing that tomorrow belongs to me as surely as today did, as surely as yesterday did, as surely as all your tomorrows do and all your yesterdays always have. You are in my hands, beloved. You have always been in my hands. And my hands are the safest place in all of existence, the place where the deepest wisdom lives and the truest love is found and the most enduring goodness makes its home. Rest now. Be still. Let the wisdom wash over you and through you and into you in these sleeping hours. Let it do its deep and gentle and powerful work in the unseen places of your heart and your mind and your spirit. You will wake tomorrow more whole, more rooted, more genuinely at peace than you were when this night began. Not because everything in your life will be different, but because something in you will be deeper, something will be more settled. Something will be more aligned with the wisdom and the love that are your true inheritance as a child of the living God. Good night, beloved. The night watch is mine. The morning light will come. And wisdom, the ancient and enduring wisdom of the one who loves you without limit and without end, will be with you when it does. Sleep peacefully in that truth. Sleep safely in that love. Sleep deeply in that wisdom. All is well. All shall be well. And all manner of things shall be well. Let the consciousness of this present moment dissolve into the warm and welcoming darkness of deep sleep. And know, in the last flickering awareness before the rest fully takes you, that you are held, you are loved, and you are never, never, never alone. In the name of the one who is wisdom itself, who is love itself, who is the source of every good thing that has ever been given to any human heart, rest now. Rest, and be at peace. The wisdom that was before the world began is being poured into you tonight, finding every empty place and filling it, finding every wounded place and beginning to heal it, finding every confused and clouded place and slowly, gently, persistently bringing light. This is the gift of this night. This is the grace of this rest. Receive it, beloved. Receive it completely. It is yours. It was always yours. And it will be yours in all the mornings that are still to come. Sleep. Be well, be at peace. Be held, be loved. The night is deep, and the rest is real. And the wisdom of the eternal God is speaking into the depths of who you are in ways that will bear fruit for the rest of your life. Nothing spoken in love is ever without effect. Nothing planted in faith is ever without harvest. And you, beloved, who came to this night with an open heart, will rise from it having received more than you know. The stars above you are burning, each in its appointed place, each upheld by the same word that holds you now in the safety of this sleeping hour. The God of the stars is the God of your life. The wisdom that set each star in its orbit is the wisdom that set each day of your life in order. Trust the same hand that moves the heavens to guide you through your days. Trust the same voice that speaks in creation responds to speak into your life with equal power and equal love. Trust, rest, and be filled. Wisdom is yours, beloved. Understanding is yours. The knowledge of the Holy One, the deep and intimate knowing of the God who made you and loves you and walks with you, this is yours, given freely, held out with open hands, waiting only for the open hands and the open heart of a child who is willing to receive. You are that child. This is your gift. Tonight and every night and in all the days of your life that are still unwritten, the gift of wisdom is offered to you without cost, without condition, without end. Sleep now. The words have done their work. The love has been poured out. The wisdom has been planted. Let the night complete what the words have begun. And when morning comes, rise into it as the person you are becoming, more whole, more rooted, more wise, more loved, and more alive than ever before. This is my delight for you. This is my will for you. This is my eternal, unfailing, overflowing love for you, spoken tonight in wisdom, given freely, received in rest, and carried forward into all the beautiful days ahead. Amen and good night, beloved. Good night. And even now, as the last traces of waking thought dissolve into the softness of deep rest, there is still more I want to give you, beloved, more of this ancient and living wisdom that has no end. More of the truth about who you are and who I am, and what the life I designed for you is truly meant to look like. So let the words continue, like a gentle stream continuing to flow even as the riverbanks grow quiet and the world around it settles into stillness. The stream does not stop when the light fades. It keeps moving, keeps giving, keeps finding its way through every kind of terrain. So let wisdom continue its movement through you even in the deepest hours of your sleep. I want to speak to you about the beauty of a life lived in integrity, because integrity is not merely the absence of dishonesty. Integrity is the wholeness of a person who is the same in the hidden places as they are in the visible ones, who does not need to manage different versions of themselves for different audiences, who carries no secret that corrodes their peace from the inside. Integrity is the quiet confidence of a person who has nothing to hide, not because they are perfect, but because they walk in the light, bringing what is real and true into the open with me, and with the people they trust, living in the freedom of genuine transparency rather than the exhausting prison of image management. The person of integrity sleeps well at night. You may not always notice the gift of this, but in the long run, In the seasons when life presses hard and the pressures that reveal character are most intense, integrity is the foundation that holds everything else up. I designed you for integrity, beloved. I designed you to live in the freedom of being genuinely yourself, the self I made and the self that is still being made by the ongoing work of my love and my wisdom in your life. That self is not perfect, and it does not need to be. It only needs to be real and growing and oriented toward the good. A life of genuine integrity does not require you to have already arrived. It requires only that you be honest about where you actually are, honest with yourself, honest with me, honest with the people who love you enough to want the real version of you, rather than the performed one. This honesty is both a gift you give and a gift you receive. When you bring your real self to your relationships, you make space for others to bring their real selves as well, and that exchange. Two real people genuinely encountering each other rather than two performed versions carefully managing impressions. That is the raw material of the kind of connection that actually satisfies the deepest longing of the human heart. So let integrity be one of the great themes of your life, beloved. Let it be something you protect and cultivate with genuine care, not because you are performing goodness for anyone's benefit, but because you understand its value, because you have seen what its absence produces in a life, because you love the freedom and the peace of living with nothing to hide. Walk in the light as I am in the light, and you will have genuine fellowship, genuine communion, genuine belonging with me and with the people I place in your life. Now let me speak to you about the beauty of faithfulness in the small things, because wisdom understands that the small things are where character is most truly tested and most truly revealed. The dramatic moments of life, the crises and the crossroads and the unmistakable turning points, these tend to bring out whatever is most deeply true in a person. But the small moments, the unremarkable Tuesdays, the 100 tiny choices made every day without ceremony or audience, these are where character is actually built. The big moments reveal character. The small moments create it. Faithfulness in the small things, keeping the commitment you made even when circumstances have changed enough that you could justify letting it go. Speaking with kindness to the person you see every day and have stopped truly noticing, whose humanity has become background to the routine of your interaction. Doing the work well even when no one will notice whether you did it well or just well enough. Telling the truth about the small thing when a small and convenient untruth would create no visible harm. These small faithfulnesses compound over time into the kind of person you can be proud to be, the kind of person others can genuinely trust, the kind of person whose life has a coherence and an integrity that holds up under scrutiny. The person who can be trusted with small things can be trusted with large ones. And the person who cannot be trusted with small things will find that larger responsibilities and greater trust are slow to come. This is wisdom being practical, beloved. This is wisdom in work clothes, not in its Sunday best. This is the wisdom that doesn't wait for the grand moments to express itself, but shows up every day in the ordinary rhythms of life and keeps showing up with consistency and faithfulness and genuine care. This is the wisdom I am growing in you, day by day, through every experience and every encounter and every small choice you make in the direction of what is genuinely good. Let me also speak to you about the wisdom of taking counsel. Because one of the marks of truly wise people is that they know they don't know everything, and they actively seek the wisdom of others who see what they cannot see. There is safety in the multitude of counselors, and this is not merely a strategy for better decision-making, though it certainly is that. It is an expression of humility, an acknowledgement that you are not the only repository of wisdom in the world, that others who have walked different paths and lived different experiences and developed different perspectives carry things that your own perspective alone cannot provide. The wise person cultivates the company of those who will speak honestly to them. This is a rarer thing than it might sound, because honesty requires courage, and courage requires the kind of love that is genuinely oriented toward the good of the other person, rather than toward the comfort of the relationship. It is easy to find people who will agree with everything you say. It is easy to surround yourself with voices that affirm every decision and validate every feeling and never push back on anything. But these voices, however pleasant they feel in the moment, are not helping you become wiser. They are giving you the comfort of echo rather than the gift of genuine engagement. The friend who loves you enough to tell you the truth, the mentor who cares about your genuine growth more than your momentary comfort, the community that holds you accountable to the values you say you hold. These are treasures worth seeking and worth keeping. And be willing to be that person for others, beloved. Be willing to love people enough to tell them the truth when the truth is needed. Be willing to risk the comfort of a relationship in service of the genuine good of the person you care about. Not with harshness, not with superiority, not with the barely concealed satisfaction of someone who is glad to have a reason to correct, but with the genuine, tender, other-centered love of someone who sees a person they deeply care about walking toward a cliff and would rather endure their momentary displeasure than stay silent and watch them fall. This kind of love, the love that speaks the truth gently but clearly, is one of the highest expressions of wisdom in relationship. Beloved, there is a song that wisdom sings over your life, and it is a song of extraordinary beauty and extraordinary hope. It is a song about who you were made to be, about the goodness that is your inheritance, about the love that surrounds you and holds you and goes before you and follows behind you. It is a song about seasons and rhythms, about the faithfulness that runs through all things like a thread that connects every moment into a coherent and meaningful whole. It is a song that has been singing over you since before you were born, and that will continue singing over you into eternity. A love song from a father to a child. A wisdom song from the source of all truth to a heart that is capable of receiving it. You were not made to merely survive, beloved. You were made to truly live, to thrive, to grow, to love and be loved, to contribute something that only you can contribute, to walk a path that no one else has walked in exactly the way you will walk it, to carry a piece of my image into the world in the particular and irreplaceable way that only you can carry it. This is your calling. This is your invitation. Not to be perfect, not to have it all figured out, not to perform some flawless version of a human life, but to be genuinely yourself, growing and learning and loving and seeking wisdom, bringing the whole of who you are to the whole of what your life is asking of you, and trusting me with the rest. And wisdom, beloved, is the companion for that journey. Wisdom is not a destination you arrive at someday when you have accumulated enough knowledge or lived through enough experience. Wisdom is a companion, a presence, a way of walking through each day that is available to you right now, in your current season, with your current level of understanding. Every day is an opportunity to walk a little more wisely than the day before, to listen a little more carefully, to love a little more generously, to speak a little more thoughtfully, to give a little more freely, to trust a little more deeply. The journey of wisdom is the journey of a lifetime, and every step forward is worth taking. Every small choice toward greater goodness is worth making. Every moment of genuine growth is a gift both to yourself and to the world around you. Rest in that, beloved. Let the beautiful invitation of wisdom be the last conscious thought before sleep takes you fully, not as pressure, not as demand, but as gift. You are invited. You are welcomed. You are wanted on this path. And I am here, every step, every day, every dark valley and every bright open field, every moment of confusion and every moment of clarity, walking with you, guiding you, loving you, delighting in you, calling you deeper into the extraordinary, ordinary, magnificent, humble, world-changing, quietly beautiful life of wisdom that I designed specifically and uniquely for you. So sleep now, beloved. Let the wisdom take root. Let the love do its deep and quiet work. Let the rest be full and the peace be real and the morning be new when it comes. The God who holds the whole world also holds you, gently and firmly and without any possibility of letting go. You are His. He is yours. And all of wisdom, the deep and ancient and eternal wisdom of the one who made all things and loves all things, and is working all things toward an end that is good. All of that wisdom is available to you. Every day, every moment, for the rest of your life and beyond. Good night, beloved. Sleep deeply, wake renewed, and walk wisely into the beautiful life that is yours and that I am delighted to share with you, step by step, day by day, through all the seasons and all the years and all the beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary moments of a life that is held, from first breath to last, in the hands of a love that will never fail and a wisdom that will never run dry. You are loved beyond measure. You are held beyond comprehension. You are guided by a wisdom that knows every path and every stone and every hidden thing. Trust it, walk in it, rest in it tonight. And tomorrow, begin again with open hands and an open heart, ready to receive whatever new understanding, whatever fresh direction, whatever grace-filled surprise the next day of your wisdom-walking life has prepared for you. It is well with you, beloved. It is well. Sleep now. The rest is real, the love is true, and wisdom is yours, always. Amen. And still, in the quiet of this night, there is more to be said, more wisdom to be poured out, more truth to be woven into the fabric of your resting heart. Because wisdom does not grow tired. Wisdom does not run out. The wisdom of the one who made the heavens and stretched them out, who set the earth on its foundations and filled it with life and color and astonishing complexity. That wisdom has no bottom. It is inexhaustible. And tonight, I am still pouring it out for you, beloved, still speaking over you in the quiet, still planting seeds that will grow long after this night has ended. Let me speak to you about joy, not happiness, which is a response to circumstances, which rises when things go well and falls when they don't, which is genuinely beautiful but genuinely temporary. I mean joy, the deep, settled, circumstance-independent gladness that comes from being rooted in something real and enduring. Joy is one of the fruits of wisdom. It grows in the heart that knows me, that has found its security and its meaning not in the shifting landscape of what is happening, but in the unchanging reality of who I am and what I have promised. Joy can be present in sorrow. Joy can exist alongside genuine grief and genuine hardship. It is not an insistence on pretending that hard things are not hard. It is the deep undercurrent of knowing that even in the hardness there is goodness, even in the grief there is grace, even in the uncertainty there is guidance, even in the night there is a dawn that is coming. The wise person cultivates joy as a practice, as a discipline, as a daily act of choosing to see the goodness that is genuinely present alongside whatever difficulty is also present, not in denial, not in performance, but in the genuine, deliberate, faith-rooted choice to notice what is good and to give thanks for it, to acknowledge the gifts that are woven through even the hard seasons, to keep the eyes of the heart open to the light, even when there is also genuine darkness. This is not positivity as a coping mechanism. This is wisdom understanding the full picture of reality, which includes both the hardness and the goodness, both the unanswered questions and the solid ground beneath the feet, both the waiting and the promise, and choosing day after day to let the goodness and the promise and the solid ground be the place from which you live. Joy is also communal, beloved. It is meant to be shared. The laughter of genuine friends, the deep satisfaction of celebrating someone else's good news as warmly as you would celebrate your own. the warmth of a room full of people who genuinely love one another. These are gifts of extraordinary value. Don't let the busyness of life crowd out the time for the simple, irreplaceable joy of genuine human connection. Don't let the pursuit of productivity steal the space for the conversations that don't accomplish anything, except deepening the bonds that make life genuinely worth living. Make time for the people you love. Be present with them, truly present when you are with them. Let the table be a place of genuine warmth and laughter and honest talk. Let your home be a place where people feel genuinely welcome and genuinely known. The wise person understands that they are not an island. They were not designed for solitude. Even the most introverted, private, quietly self-sufficient person was made for genuine connection, for the intimacy of being truly known and truly accepted, for the richness of a life shared with others who care and who are cared for in return. Tend your relationships, beloved. Water them with time and attention and genuine interest in the people in your life. Listen to them. Celebrate with them. Sit with them in the hard times. Show up consistently, not just when it is convenient and not just when the relationship is giving more than it is requiring. Be the kind of friend you would want to have. Be the kind of family member who makes the space of the family warmer and safer and more genuinely alive, and receive the gift of others' presence in your life with genuine gratitude. Not everyone who has been placed in your path is there by accident. Not every relationship you have entered is random. I am working through people to bring things into your life that I have determined you need. Perspectives and challenges and encouragements and corrections and celebrations that are specifically tailored to who you are and what you are becoming. The person who seems most difficult in your life right now may be one of the most significant instruments of your growth. The person who has stayed faithful to you through seasons when you were hard to love may be one of the greatest gifts you have been given. See the people in your life through eyes of wisdom, understanding that each of them is on their own journey. Each of them is also beloved by me. Each of them carries their own story of grace and struggle and becoming. Extend grace widely, beloved. Extend grace more widely than you think is warranted, because you don't fully know the story of the person in front of you. You don't know what they have been through, what wounds they are carrying, what impossible situation they may be navigating behind the surface you can see. You don't know what it has cost them to show up today, what they have already had to overcome to be standing where they are standing. When you know someone's story, it becomes much harder to judge them, and wisdom knows that there is almost always more to the story than is visible. So lead with grace. Lead with the generous assumption of human struggle and human effort, and the universal need for compassion that every person you meet shares with you. Compassion, beloved, is wisdom with a heart. It is truth married to tenderness. It is the understanding that to be human is to be fragile, to be in need, to be in process, to be sometimes a mess, and sometimes a miracle, and most of the time something beautifully and messily in between. Compassion does not pretend that wrong things are right. It does not excuse what needs to be addressed or turn away from what needs to be spoken into. But it holds the person with genuine care even while addressing the thing that needs to change. It sees the image of God in the person, even when their behavior is far from reflecting that image. It remembers that every person it encounters is someone I love, someone I am working in and for and through, someone who has not yet arrived at the fullness of who they are created to be, just like you. You have been shown compassion, beloved. You have been held with gentleness in your seasons of failure, and your seasons of wandering, and your seasons of simply being human in all the messy, complicated, beautiful ways that humans are. The compassion shown to you is not a debt to be repaid, but it is a gift to be received and then passed on freely, generously, without calculation. As you have received, so give. As you have been seen in your weakness and loved still, So see others in their weakness and love still. This is the circle of grace, the movement of love from me through you into the world and back again. And it is the most powerful force for genuine good that exists in the universe. The hours of this night are moving forward, beloved. The stars are completing their arc across the sky. Somewhere, dawn is beginning to gather itself, still far away but coming, as it always comes, faithful and new, and full of the mercies I spoke of earlier that arrive fresh with every morning. But for now, there is still time for rest, still time for the deep work of the sleeping hours, still time for wisdom to continue its quiet planting in the garden of your heart. Let me speak to you, in these final moments of the night's journey, about hope, about the extraordinary, irrational, divinely grounded hope that is the birthright of everyone who has placed their trust in me. I say irrational not to diminish it, but to honor it. Because genuine hope in a world that contains suffering and loss and genuine uncertainty does require something that goes beyond what rational analysis alone can provide. It requires faith. It requires the willingness to believe in what cannot yet be seen, to trust in what cannot yet be proven, to act as though the promises are real before they have been fully fulfilled. This is the hope that does not put to shame, the hope that holds because it is rooted not in optimism about circumstances, but in confidence about character, my faithfulness, my love, my power, my commitment to the people who have trusted me with their lives. Hope is not passive, beloved. It is not the resigned waiting of someone who has given up on the possibility of being active in their own life. Hope is energizing. It is the fuel of creative engagement with the world. The person who genuinely believes that good things are coming, that their efforts matter, that the story is moving toward an end that is good, that the God who holds the future is trustworthy and good. That person is free to act, to risk, to love, to give, to create, in ways that hopelessness and despair never will allow. Hope expands the possible. It opens doors that fear and cynicism keep locked. It makes genuine engagement with life possible, even in the face of genuine uncertainty. Hold on to hope, beloved. Protect it. When the voices around you or inside you try to argue you out of it, when circumstances press so hard that hope seems naive or foolish, return to the evidence. Return to the history of my faithfulness, both in the vast sweep of human history and in the specific personal history of your own life. Have there not been moments when you could not see how things would work out, and they worked out? Have there not been seasons that seemed like they would not end, and they ended? Have there not been prayers that seemed unanswered for so long that you had almost stopped expecting an answer? And then the answer came in a way so perfect and so right that only I could have arranged it. That history is real. That evidence is valid. Let it feed your hope when hope is hungry. Let it remind you that the one you have trusted has never once failed to be trustworthy in the ways that ultimately matter. And finally, beloved, in the deepest quiet of this night, let me speak to you about love. Because wisdom, for all its practical brilliance and its transformative power, is ultimately in service of love. Everything I have spoken tonight, every truth about integrity and faithfulness and humility and diligence and hope and compassion, all of it flows from love, and all of it flows toward love. Love is the greatest wisdom. Love is the highest expression of everything I have been pouring into you tonight. Love for me, expressed in the seeking and the trusting and the walking in my ways. Love for yourself, expressed in the care you take for your own soul and the grace you extend to your own humanness. Love for others, expressed in the generosity and the faithfulness and the genuine service and the honest tenderness with which you walk through the world. Love is what I designed you for. Love is the atmosphere you were made to breathe. Love is the water in which your soul is most truly alive. The more fully you grow into love, the more fully you grow into yourself, into the person you were made to be. into the life I designed for you. Not the love that is merely a feeling, though feelings of love are genuinely beautiful and genuinely good, but the love that is a choice, a commitment, a way of orienting yourself toward the genuine good of others regardless of how you feel, a love that acts even when it doesn't feel, that gives even when giving is costly, that stays even when staying is hard, that speaks truth even when truth is unwelcome. This is the love that changes the world. This is the love that I have shown you. And this is the love you are being shaped more and more fully to embody in your own unique and irreplaceable way. Sleep now, beloved. Let all of this settle into you at the deepest possible level. Let the wisdom be planted deeply, the love be rooted widely, the hope be anchored firmly. When morning comes and the new day begins with all its ordinary demands and its extraordinary opportunities, rise into it as someone who has been in the presence of wisdom, who has rested in the arms of love, who has been filled to overflowing with truth that will carry them through whatever the day ahead contains. You are ready, not because you have everything figured out, but because you are not alone. Not because you have no more growing to do, but because the one who is growing you is faithful. Not because the path ahead is perfectly clear, but because the one who walks with you knows every step of it and will illuminate what you need to see when you need to see it. Walk in wisdom, beloved. Walk in love, walk in hope, walk with me. And the life you live, unremarkable in its ordinariness and extraordinary in its faithfulness, will be more beautiful and more meaningful and more deeply alive than anything you could have designed for yourself. This is my blessing over you tonight. This is my love for you given in wisdom and poured out without measure. Receive it completely, sleep in it peacefully, wake into it joyfully, and carry it forward into every day of the one precious, irreplaceable, wisdom-filled, love-drenched life that is yours and that I am profoundly glad to share with you. Good night, beloved. Sleep well. All is well. It is well with your soul. And when you wake, it will still be well, because my mercies are new and my love is constant and my wisdom is always and forever available to you. Always. In all ways. Now into the very end of the age and beyond into the eternity that is your true and final home. Rest now. Be still. Be loved. Be whole. And wake into the morning that is coming with all the wisdom and all the hope and all the love that this night has planted in you. It is enough. You are enough. And I, your God, your Father, your faithful guide, and your eternal companion, am more than enough for everything that lies ahead. Sleep, be at peace, all shall be well. Even in the silence between these words, beloved, wisdom is speaking. Even in the space where there are no more sentences to be heard, where the voice has grown quiet and the stillness has grown deep, wisdom is not absent. Wisdom is the very air of this hour, the texture of this rest, the quality of this silence. Wisdom is present in the darkness, the way light is present in the seed before the seed has yet opened, quietly and completely, and ready to emerge in fullness at exactly the right moment. You are a seed, beloved, and you are opening. You are opening into the fullness of all that I created you to be, and the process is more beautiful than you can see from inside it. Every season you have walked through has been part of the opening. Every challenge that pressed against you was part of what shaped the particular beauty of who you are becoming. Every moment of grace received and every act of love given has been adding to the depth and the richness and the fragrance of the life that is growing and unfolding in you. Trust the unfolding. Trust the gardener who tends it. Sleep in the trust of a seed that knows in its deepest cell that the light is real and the soil is good and the time will come. Your time is coming. Your fullness is unfolding. And tonight, in the rest and the wisdom and the love of this quiet hour, something beautiful has been planted that will bear fruit in its season. Count on it. It is as certain as the dawn that is already coming. Sleep well, beloved. The night is yours, the morning will be new, And wisdom, ancient and alive and endlessly generative, will be with you in both. In all the days, in all the ways, forever and always. Amen. And so the wisdom of the night has spoken its full measure, beloved, and every word of it has been true, and every word of it has been given in love. And every word of it is rooted in the unchanging reality of a God who is good, who is faithful, who is near, who is for you in every possible sense of the word, for your flourishing, for your peace, for your joy, for your growth, for your healing, for your becoming everything you were made to be. This is the wisdom that was before the world. This is the love that will outlast it. And this is the truth in which you sleep tonight and wake tomorrow and walk every day of the beautiful, ordinary, holy life that is yours. Sleep, be loved, be held, be wise. And know that I am God and I am yours and you are mine, and this will never change. Never, never, not for as long as forever reaches and beyond. Good night. Wisdom calls and wisdom gives and wisdom stays, beloved, through every hour of every day and every quiet moment of every night. Through every turning of the world and every turning of your own inner seasons. The voice of wisdom does not grow hoarse. The love of the one who speaks it does not diminish. The truth of it does not age or become irrelevant or lose its power to transform the heart that is open to receiving it. This wisdom is eternal. You are eternal. And the journey you are on, the journey of a soul learning to walk in wisdom and love, is the most important journey any human being can undertake, more important than any achievement, more meaningful than any accumulation, more lasting than anything built with hands or measured in numbers. You are on that journey. You are walking it with courage and with faith, and I am walking it with you every step, every breath, every night of rest, and every morning of beginning again. This is enough. You are enough. I am enough. And everything, all of it, all the wisdom and the love and the hope and the grace and the joy and the peace, it is all enough, more than enough. Overflowing and abundant and real. Sleep now in that abundance, wake into it tomorrow, and carry it with you always.